Well, I know we're a few days removed from Sunday, but if you're Cleveland, you still might be wondering what happened in New England. The Browns sent packing after getting blown out 45-7 against the Patriots. They are dropping their fourth in their last 6 games, along with extending that winless streak when playing in New England. That goes all the way back to 1992. Cleveland's offense was on the struggle bus. Baker Mayfield in that group was held to just 217 total yards, and when it comes to third down, it's just 1 for 11 there. So let's break that down a little bit more for you. After that touchdown early on, when they got on the board first here, the Browns were just outplayed and outcoached. And as you see it, an interception, punt, and turnover on downs is pretty much the rest of the story there. So we might have a problem in Cleveland if you're thinking about the Browns still contending this year. All right, to help us kind of make sense of what's going on here in Cleveland, our Josina Anderson joined us here at HQ. And I don't know if we can even make sense of it, but there's plenty of question marks across the board here. The good news for the Browns, they do have the winless Lions coming into town, but big picture, can they kind of get back on track here in Cleveland?
Well, you said the good news is that they do have the Lions coming up. Well, hopefully that's good news for them, because it certainly would be not if they don't prevail with the win. But just going to what you said, obviously, you know, the Browns experiencing kind of a up and down pattern in the last 2 games with Baker Mayfield and the Browns coming off of a big loss against the Patriots, 45-7. Before that, having a very dominant win against the Bengals, in which you saw that big swing with the quarterback having his season high in passer rating and going to his season low in passer rating, and the team coming off of its fewest passing yards for the season at 118, especially after all of that energy that circulated around Odell's departure. And a source telling me right now, you can't blame Odell, you know, for that, especially when it comes to Baker Mayfield's inconsistencies. But we do know that Baker Mayfield has been telling the press that he definitely felt the hurt that he's most felt after a game, dealing with the knee contusion, the shoulder, and also the foot soreness that knocked him out of the game against the Patriots, though the x-rays showed that there was no structural damage. So that does present some issues right now as far as how he goes into this game. And then on top of that, when you're talking about all of the talk that's kind of surrounding the Cleveland sports community right now, Jarvis Landry had some comments at his Thanksgiving drive the other day, in which he said that, you know, Baker has got to get healthy. We are doing our best to adjust, obviously, when the ball is in the air. And he also just stated that he has not been getting the ball as much and he doesn't know why. And when I talked to a team source about that, they said, listen, you know, this is not the time to lose faith. Jarvis is the glue to the team, and he needs to concentrate on the balls that come to him and to catch those. At the same time, we still have a chance to win the division. And he said, hell yes, we have a chance to still get into the playoffs. So this is not the time for anyone to be folding the tent. We need to focus on the Lions, because as I mentioned at the top of this, it would definitely be problematic if they had a loss against a team that has not gotten a win so far this season.
So the Browns, of course, 5-5. It feels a little different there, but Carolina, they're 5-5 as well, but they're in the playoff hunt. And things have changed since Cam Newton came back. We saw what he did against Arizona there, the spark that Super Cam brings. You had a chance to speak to Robbie Anderson this week. What did he say about the change since Cam came back? Not to mention, they might be in the playoff hunt here.
Well, this is a very interesting situation because, yes, the Carolina Panthers, as you mentioned, are 5-5, but they are just holding on to that 7th spot with 3 teams just a half game back, and the Vikings, the 49ers, and Falcons all at 4-5. So this is a big game for many reasons for that. And also because, as you mentioned, this is the likely return of Cam Newton to that starting position and then going up against his former head coach and Ron Rivera. And yes, you're right. I did have an opportunity to speak to wide receiver Robbie Anderson and just asking about the impact that Cam Newton has had on the team. And he said, you know what, his impact has been very strong. He said for Cam Newton to come and play for this team has been like a dream for him. He also said that Cam Newton was a player that he felt a personal connection to, that they're building their chemistry, and he's taking him under his wing. Matter of fact, even before he came, he was asking players what he was like. So obviously you're kind of hearing a little bit more of a connection there with Cam Newton maybe versus Sam Darnold. But he also said that he's benefiting from the fact that Cam Newton's a taller quarterback and he's able to see the balls coming to him a lot easier as well. So those are just some of the things that he said, in addition to the fact that he thinks the aura that Cam Newton brings is something that they were missing in terms of that veteran leadership presence. And lastly, I think the thing that's very interesting when it comes to Robbie Anderson is that if you remember last year, he got that, or excuse me, coming into the season, he got that 2-year, $29.5 million contract extension after his career year last year with 1,069 receiving yards. So far, not so great. 23 receptions for 243. When I asked him about that and if he thought that he could get integrated more throughout the season and even just coming up in this game against the Washington football team, he admitted that he had been frustrated during their 4-game losing streak, saying he didn't feel too much included in the offense. But the fact that he was able to get that early touchdown against the Cardinals helped him to get his feet wet. And in just in conversations with Matt Rule and what have you, he feels like this is an opportunity for him to reset, get the production that everyone's used to him seeing, especially with Christian McCaffrey back in the offense the last 2 games.
There's definitely a different energy there in Carolina for the Panthers as they continue in that hunt for a playoff spot, currently sitting 7th there at 5-5. Let's look at tonight, of course, Thursday Night Football. If you're looking at the Falcons, Cordero Patterson, a game-time decision, still dealing with the ankle. You're talking about the Falcons' maybe best offensive weapon. What's the latest you can tell us on his status?
Well, the thing for Cordero Patterson, as you mentioned, he is dealing with that ankle injury that limited him Tuesday and Wednesday in practice. He's still dealing with a lot of soreness. This is still going to go up to the wire as of right now when it comes to his ability to play in Thursday Night Football. That production definitely necessary for the Falcons as he has 473 receiving yards, 303 rushing yards, definitely having a career year. But we're going to have to watch this one all the way to the tape when it comes to Cordero Patterson.
See how that pans out there. The Falcons also still in the hunt there in the NFC to see how that pans out for them with Patterson, as you mentioned, a game-time decision. Hopefully we won't see a 28-3 kind of flashback for the Falcons here with the Patriots later on tonight. Josina Anderson, as always, appreciate your time breaking everything down in the NFL. Don't forget, of course, this weekend, plenty to go on Sunday. A full slate of games on CBS. The Ravens traveling to Chicago, looking to bounce back. Lamar Jackson and the Birds there, the Texans and Titans there. The Titans, by the way, red hot as of lately. The Dolphins and Jets, that should be interesting there. By the way, you get Joe Flacco, the return of him taking on Tua. And then the Colts and Bills, and then at 4 o'clock, the Bengals off that bye week, taking on Derek Carr and the Raiders at 4-5. Catch it on CBS and Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.